So this was the store. One of these pictures are from the store where I bought a lot of my toys, and it's still existing. That tiny little store, and this was right before we flew in here. It's owned by a really grumpy old guy he's turned really bitter, but he's got some really neat toys in there. He wears the same clothes like he did in 1979. He smells terrible and he's really angry. But I'm so desperate. I keep visiting him all the time because I know he has some good stuff. He has like Lego made out of wood instead of plastic. He's got some nice pieces, and like my wife Emily, who's here, she won't enter his store because it's disgusting. But I managed to make a few finds over the years. When I started to collect him back in the 90s, he had loads of carded figures for clearance. The big thing in Sweden is loose collecting, back then and today. So I bought loads of carded figures just to crack them open, like U-grading in the 90s. It was terrible, but most of those figures were on this exact display, the German Darth Vader store display. So after 7 years of visiting his store, trying to be nice, trying not to breathe because it smells so bad, I managed finally to track this down and buy it, and with some Swedish stickers on it. It was like mint. It was like AFA 95 or something, and he refused to sell. He never sells stuff. He hates to sell stuff. I don't know what he do for a living, but and I have to like suck up, be nice, and just like, please. I've asked him so many times. I got some Masters of the Universe figures, some really rare ones and stuff, but the Star Wars things are really hard to find. But I kept asking him about this AT-AT for like almost 10 years, and then I got so pissed at him, I stopped visiting him. 3 months later, a guy walks in and buys it. So this is like my nightmare. I don't own this, so it's difficult to talk about. We better move on. From the same store, I got this poster. It's from Playmix, the Swedish company, that they were handing out in Sweden. It's quite a neat poster, especially because the top image is showing prototypes, hard copy figures. It was taken in the US, and what's fun about it is that some of these prototype figures are still around. I think what is it? The Reyes is in a private collection, the Leia Rouge is in a private collection. The Weequay named Skiffguard here, it looks like one that's for sale at this show down in the sale area. Well, and the Galactic Emperor's Royal Guard got it like his hangover and couldn't get his dress. I mentioned Playmix. We have seen so fantastic items here. General Beer, Shrink Wrap, Jack Face, and here I come from Sweden, this cheap skate country got IKEA, and Playmix, they never made anything of their own. They just bought like old stock from all over the world just to be as cheap as possible. So you can find card backs from every line in the world probably. I haven't found a leather piece, but there's the Palitoy, Kenners, Mechanos, all about it, and here's some card backs. I think I stole some pictures from your collection, Mike, in the audience. Sorry about that. Forgot to ask permission. There's all. Well, so every toy can be found in Sweden, but the vehicle's got a small sticker on it and instructions in Swedish that are really lame looking, and it's like It's just cut and paste work. And this small sticker, it says dolls and figures not included. And that's a quite big collecting area in Sweden. That's one of my main focuses. While they're collecting Lego stuff, I collect these small orange stickers because they're Swedish. So, here's what it can look like. You can find, like, here's Clipper, here's Trilogo, here's Palitoy, here's Kenner. And you see, like, same goes for the instructions. So Playmix opened every toy up and put in this instruction sheet. So if you're going for a U-grade, a Swedish toy, that won't happen because it's been opened like before. Here's from Vedator with some store display signs hanging back in the roof. That's real neat. Playmix did a few store displays. That's probably the coolest item Playmix ever did. The guy that made them probably got fired because it was expensive or so, but these are the ones that are around. The Power of the Force one is probably the only store displays that got the Power of the Force logo in the whole world, because when every country was closing down their selling Star Wars figures, in Sweden it was extremely popular still. Between 84 and 88 was the biggest year for selling toys. Here's just some other Playmix stuff, competition diploma, brochures, notebooks, stationery. And at last some other Swedish stuff that, like, quite a unique Star Wars poster where Chewie and Han is on the poster, combined with the Hillbrand artwork, which is kind of a unique. And some Jedi Lask as a terrible soda from back in the day. And some Nelba collecting cards, which are really neat. And of course some ice cream. Well, like, we're having cereals here today, so had to bring in some food items. And you got this cool, very cool Darth Vader mask. And in Sweden, Boba Fett was among the rebels. So Playmix was cheap and then didn't know a thing about Star Wars. That's a great combination for a toy company. Well, that's what was about it. Thank you very much. And
so if you can ask a question in Japanese, Swedish, or Peruvian Spanish, go right ahead. So we have some questions left, so go right ahead. I'm sure you have plenty.
Far in the back.
Question for Luis.
No, mainly the new items that were produced by the Winterito Chocolate were figures inspired in the episode 1 that were released in the episode 1 era, and now they are making new for the Clone Wars characters. Then they are different, totally different than previous figures released by Chocolate. Another question?
Back question. Yeah. Why is it more popular to collect
Well, the question is, why is it more popular to collect loose Swedish figures than carded?
Well, that's probably all over Europe. I have no idea, but I have a theory. I don't really get, like, we didn't have much like carded figures that was saved from back in the day. And one explanation is when I started to collect, I didn't realize there was like a Sandcrawler until 97 and 88 or so. Most shops had sold out because it was so popular between 84 and 88, and back in like 88, there wasn't any manufacturers like Kenner had stopped, McCann stopped, Playmix had stopped. So I think there's no carded figures around that's from Sweden that wasn't open because it was so popular. All the boxes was thrown away. I can't speak for the other countries, but that's my theory about Sweden. We didn't care. We had to lose figures and didn't know that there was so many carded stuff out there that we know of today. But eBay changed that in 97, 98 when you realized you could get some mint carded figures.
I have a question for Amy. What is Nobuyoshi Ohai's reception in Japan? Is he considered to be like the top artist, or is he unknown, or how is he considered in Japan?
Nobuyoshi Ohai?
Yes.
So before The Empire Strikes Back, he was famous for book cover artist, not like poster artist for series. Then later the reputation changed and he's top poster artist now.
Can I ask Matthias if there's always leftover bolts and nuts when you assemble the vehicles and like the IKEA? It's always leftover things. Is that the same with the vintage places?
Well, yes, and the figures in Sweden weren't sonic welded. They came in flat, and all the parts you had to put them together as well. Yeah.
Those screwdrivers that
Allen wrench.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, unless there's any more questions for any of the panelists, big applause.
Can I thank Sky Payne for emceeing, and also Gus Lopez for always putting these talks together. They're awesome. Thanks.